Okay, so we got our new book from Sunrise Stable. This is a book about horses, and I thought this was so cute on the front. They put this love sticker with a horse on it. So here we go. Let's see what's in here. Got some paper, and then we have stories of family, friendship, horses, and a great God who works all things in our lives for good. Oh, I love that. It has some pictures. Ooh. With all you are. Oh, good. It even has a Bible verse. I love that. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. Mark 12:30. Next we have the business card of the author, I believe. And then we have another little flyer, history on horseback.
If horses could type, what kind of story would
Pit ponies. Okay, we'll read that. And then we have a letter, and here is the book that we've been waiting for. Hold on. Okay, so I needed both hands to take the bubble wrap off, but here we go. Here's the book. It's a beautiful cover, front cover, history on horseback, the early years. There's Washington himself. And then here is the back of the book. And then open it up, and
there was a stagecoach on the front. They were chasing a calf.
There is just a bunch of different chapters. I can't wait to read this, all about horses. So I plan on reading this with my son pointed out this picture to me. It looks like a stagecoach chasing got in the middle of a cattle drive or something. And there's a calf right there. And then here is the inside of the book. And we'll take a look at it a little bit more in detail in a future video. Again, the name of the book is History on Horseback by Sunrise Stables. And the Sun is spelled S-O-N-R-I-S-E. I guess I didn't realize this was going to be a Christian book, so I'm even more excited about that. All right, thanks. Hi there, my name is Amy from Cattle Upon a Hill. I just want to talk to you a little bit more about the book that we received. It's called History on Horseback, the early years from 1493 to 1866. My son and I read through this book. I have a son, my oldest son, who's 13 years old, really enjoys horses. So I thought this would be a great book for us to learn a little bit of history about horses. Let me tell you some things I really like about this book. One thing I really like is all the pictures. There are some really amazing pictures. And another thing I like about it as far as a history book goes is that the chapters are really short. So we would just read through a chapter together. This one's called Delivering the Good News. It's about circuit riding preachers. And that was really interesting. There's a picture there. We enjoyed that. We also liked learning about the pit ponies. Pit ponies are ponies that they use down in mines. Our family lives in the oldest town in Wisconsin, and it is a former mining town. So this summer, when we can visit museums again, we are going to visit the museum here in our town and see if there were pit ponies. We have been to the museum in the past, but we never really learned about pit ponies. So I'm going to ask the people that work there if there were in fact ponies down in the mines in our town. We also learned a lot about the Oregon Trail, which is something I'm really interested in. We haven't studied it formally in our homeschool yet, but I do plan to do a unit study on the Oregon Trail, and I will definitely use this book as a reference because there are some really great chapters about the Oregon Trail. Another thing that was really interesting to us and our family is about all the stories about mules and donkeys and burros. I didn't realize that they were going to be in here, and that's perfect for us because we have 2 miniature donkeys of our own. So here's a story called Brighty of the Grand Canyon, and it's about this little burro here and what his job was at the Grand Canyon. So that was really interesting. We learned that our donkeys have it really easy compared to donkeys back in the 1800s, and horses in general. Just like people have it much easier now than they did in the 1800s, now that we have vehicles and we don't need to use horses or donkeys as a form of transportation. Here's another picture of some mules or burros or donkeys. I'm not sure what it is. It also talks about Wells Fargo. I did not know the history of Wells Fargo, so that was really interesting to read about as well. The way we use this book is we just read through it, but I'm definitely going to keep this as a book, and as we study different time periods in history that fall within these years, I'm going to reference this book and say, how did they use horses during that time? And it also talks about George Washington and his horses. I mean, there is just so much good information. And another thing I really enjoy about it, this was done by a Christian author, so it talks about circuit riders, it talks about missionaries. Really appreciate that about this book. I love the name of the company. I guess it's not on the book. It's called Sunrise Stable. Sun being spelled S-O-N. So we really enjoyed this book. It's not a living history book. It's more of a reference history book. So like I said, we're going to use it as we study different things throughout history, since we do kind of a living history type of curriculum. But it is such a good reference book to talk about horses and learn about how important they were in the early history of America. So thanks for watching this video. Go ahead and read the rest of my review. Thanks again for watching.